Ouija Shark is exactly what it sounds like. A shameless, uninspired mashup of previously successful trends and movies, and a shallow attempt to capitalize on the groundwork laid by other filmmakers while it's still somewhat popular and meme-worthy, all while displaying no effort, no talent, and no originality in the process. I found Ouija Shark on Tubi, the totally free streaming service where many movies go to die. The horror selection is actually pretty impressive, and seems to be growing all the time. There's some gold to be found here for sure, but you gotta dig for it. Browsing a streaming service can be like going down the rabbit hole, but Tubi is a different kind of hole, a unique experience deserving of its own name. This is going down the Tubi hole. If you're a real glutton for punishment like me, you can make a drinking game out of it, but you might be dead by the end of this video. That's why I switched to non-alcoholic substances, to enhance the Tubi experience.
Heroin AM, the only non-drowsy heroin on the market.
Combines heroin with 5 milligrams of caffeine and a small pile of cocaine.
My own recipe, guaranteed to jack you up.
Speaking of commercials, Tubi is ad-supported. Normally I hate that kind of thing, but since my attention span isn't what it used to be, I don't mind it as much. For example, drink every time a totally inappropriate ad comes on.
Gentlemen, I want to show you my balls. Look at them, they're silky and smooth.
Twice if it happens at the worst possible time.
Get them off me!
My squishy little dumplings are so cute!
Thrice if it features a washed-up celebrity.
Nobody likes it when their check engine light comes on, especially when your car's out of warranty.
Drink every time you click on some totally badass cover art hoping for the best, but it's invariably some derivative Z-grade found footage trash. Drink every time Tony Todd shows up in a random cameo. This dude gets around, believe me.
Off my leg! Shrimp Skeppy.
It seems like almost every movie I've clicked on has sucked, but that just makes the good finds extra special. And there are good finds. These are a few legitimately good horror movies that I found on Tubi just over the last month or two. And it's worth it. You gotta take the bad with the good, as they say. Which brings us to Ouija Shark. Filmed in Canada in 2017 on no budget, it sat on a shelf for 3 years until Wild Eye picked it up in 2020. It was directed by Brett Kelly, an ironic shark movie title generator in his own right. He's also credited under an alias here, which I guess he uses for all of his shark movies. I'm not sure what to make of that, but a quirky title is one thing, quality filmmaking is another. I was way deep down in the depths of Tubi when I found this one, like 10 or 12 levels deep in the shit. I was probably on a bender too, but I don't know, I can't remember. Why else would I choose to watch this thing, much less make a long-ass review about it? Nothing that happens in this movie makes any sense. Characters are introduced only to die in the same scene, or never to be shown again. The locations suck, the dialogue sucks, and there's some truly baffling choices made throughout. There's no consideration for basic shit like tone, pacing, and continuity, and the whole thing just looks and sounds like ass. This movie is so boring that I fell asleep twice while writing this sentence, consisting of drawn-out, pointless walking shots to pad out time, people sitting around talking about nothing, ultra-low-budget effects, and unexplained musical breaks that will have you reevaluating the questionable life choices that have led you to this moment. The only thing I really like in this movie is the shark. It's adorable. So go grab a life jacket and your favorite mind-altering substance, because we're going down, baby. Going down the Tubi hole. The movie opens with a montage of old-timey literature and artwork depicting fearsome sea creatures, suggesting there may be some kind of history and lore behind the legend of the Ouija Shark. But there isn't. This has nothing to do with anything. This is just to kill 3 minutes. A car pulls up to this campground or whatever, and this chick in an awesome goat shirt gets out. She's pissed off at her friends because they were supposed to meet her here. After standing around for a while, she decides to go on without him.
Screw it. Time waits for no man.
She walks into the woods for several minutes, and there's this suspenseful music playing, even though there's literally nothing happening. The movie suddenly gets a lot more interesting as our well-endowed goat chick strips down to a swimsuit. She puts down a tiny towel, then lays down on some dangerously sharp-looking gravel as if to sunbathe, even though it doesn't even appear to be sunny out. This goes on for some time, till she gets bored, then walks barefoot across the treacherous landscape before taking a relaxing dip in the sub-freezing waters. Now that's a shock to your system. Is this the only beach in Canada? I'm pretty sure this is how they waterboard prisoners of war. Did she do this on a dare or something? She hears a noise and something touches her leg, but if you thought we were getting an awesome shark kill here, forget about it. It's just the first of many letdowns in this movie as the Ouija board washes up. Why even film this scene in the water? She tosses the cheap-looking prop aside and also sadly puts back on her clothes. There's a jump scare as her cell phone rings, and she has a conversation with someone on the other end that we don't get to see or hear. Of course not. Filming that would require effort. The new plan is to meet up at someone's house instead, I guess, so she leaves, grabbing the Ouija board just in case. We cut to a suburban street where we meet our disposable cast of non-dimensional soon-to-be shark fodder. For a terrifying moment, the movie threatens to devolve into found-footage horror schlock based on this camera POV and this tacky overlay effect. It's only used in this one scene though, which means it serves no purpose at all. Also, I can almost guarantee that no camera manufacturer has ever used Times New Roman as the font for that cliched blinking record light in the corner. Putting in effort sucks, I know, but maybe it's worth it if you're going to bother including this kind of thing. I did something similar in one of my own videos, where I created an overlay effect, and I worked at it till I got it right. If I can do it, you can do it, movie. Or just don't do it at all, since like I already mentioned, it literally serves no purpose. Anyway, there's some throwaway dialogue about how they came to stay at this party house for a few nights while the owners are away. The chick in the goat shirt shows up, and they all go inside the house, engaging in poorly recorded and ultimately pointless dialogue. This chick, who kind of reminds me of Hannah Cohen Lawler, if she didn't grow up to be a murderous cult leader possessed by the spirit of an ancient witch, gets distracted on her way to the pool. She proceeds to perv out on this guy washing his car, making no attempt to hide her creepiness. I mean, he's a decent looking guy, I guess, but nothing to get moist over. There's an unnecessary and out-of-place Tarantino-style trunk shot for no reason, and these two gossip about goat chick behind her back.
Why'd you invite her along?
Well, she went through some rough times. I thought this might cheer her up.
What happened?
Nothing happened. She's just an old friend.
You just said she went through some rough times.
Well, she went through some rough times. I thought this might cheer her up.
What happened?
Nothing happened. She's just an old friend.
You know I can hear you guys, right?
What this film lacks in comedic timing, it makes up for in gratuitous bikini shots, though, and they all go splash around in the pool while some bad stock music plays. I'm sure all of this will be crucial to the plot. They hang around for a while talking about nothing, and they make fun of this chick for having the munchies, so I guess she's the token pothead of the group.
There's a barbecue over there. I'll get it lit.
I'm sure you will.
The goat chick, whose name is Jill, I guess, dips out to go take a nap. Just when you thought the story couldn't get any more intricate and complex, the movie becomes a trashy erotic music video out of nowhere. The chick who looks like Brie from the much better movie I referenced earlier accidentally loses her shirt between cuts, and they proceed to wash the fuck out of this car as an off-key butt rock song plays. This goes on for 2 whole verses and 2 whole choruses. If this song gets stuck in your head too, then good, because now you feel my pain. Sometimes the worst songs are the stickiest. We're almost 18 minutes into this shit, by the way, and literally nothing has happened other than finding the Ouija board and coming to this house. Meanwhile, Jill is flashing back to that moment when she nearly froze to death like 15 minutes ago. They also remind us of the Ouija board twice, as if this didn't just happen in the movie, and then there's a shark scare. The stoner chick cooks invisible burgers on a grill that's not even lit, and we cut to the gang afterwards, talking about how great the burgers were. So great, in fact, that it looks like the food never even touched the obviously unused plates. Which actually makes sense, because there was never any food to begin with. Mind blown. We're watching a horror movie, right? Someone suggests playing games, and Jill busts out the Ouija board, followed by some cringy forced comedy.
Is that a board?
The board comes with this pointer thing now. I don't remember seeing that when she found it in the water, but whatever.
Come on. We have to sit in a circle for all of it forward.
They're literally already sitting in a circle, but okay.
Come on, guys. We're just in a circle.
If you've ever seen a Ouija horror movie, and unfortunately I have, usually they'll dim the lights, light a bunch of candles or whatever, making for a spooky atmosphere that's appropriate for communicating with the dead. But I think the director just wanted to keep these chicks in their bikini tops as long as possible. Also, I doubt they'd go to the effort to light an indoor scene at night when they don't even bother to use microphones in this movie. Jill explains how Ouija works, and they start summoning some spirits. The prop Ouija board is so small that when they all put their hands out, you can't even see it anymore. There's another bad attempt at comedy using an outdated musical reference.
Please, please, please tell me, who wrote the Book of Love?
Jen!
Ask your great-grandparents to explain the reference to you after you summon them with the Ouija board. The pointer thing, which is called a planchette, I guess,
This is the planchette.
starts moving around as it does. I'm not sure how they can even see the letters. There's a reason why the OG Ouija planchette has a window thing in it. Anyway, it spells out the word hungry twice, then die. Finally, in a flash of light and Adobe After Effects plugin, the shark briefly appears.
Concentrate!
Nice. It only took 24 minutes into the 71-minute horror movie for something actually supernatural to happen. Cut to some stock footage of the moon that I think they played backwards. Jill wakes up from another bad dream and she calls her dad, who's played by this low-powered, ultra-slow talking automaton.
Hello?
Also, he's been binge-watching The Outer Limits, maybe?
I just had a terrible dream.
Dreams can be a doorway to the unconscious mind.
What's in that cup, bro? You shrooming again?
Dreams can be a doorway to the unconscious mind. Go on.
Found this Ouija board in the water.
You know, Jill called her dad for comfort and support, but because parents in horror movies always have to be assholes, he proceeds to condescend and lecture her.
Haven't I told you not to fool around with those things? I've never heard of such a thing. No more fooling around with the occult.
He says he'll do some research on the Ouija thing, then the drugs really kick in and he runs through the house screaming and smashing all the mirrors before passing out in the bathtub in the fetal position.
Dreams can be a doorway to the unconscious mind.
No, not really, but that would have been awesome though. Some more pretty stock footage, and then we're watching these two people walking along a path in these long, awkwardly silent, unbroken takes. These two new assholes here that we've never met before only exist to die in this scene. Why though? Don't we have enough shark bait back at the house already? Why not start killing off the main cast one by one? Isn't that how the formula goes? This chick takes her top off to catch some rays, even though they're sitting in the shade.
I'd like to catch some rays.
Then they talk about going swimming as if they're not literally in the woods and nowhere near an actual body of water. She drops a cracker on her boob, and Chester here is trying to get the courage to ask her out, even though she's kind of being a bitch to him for no reason.
We went to prom together, right?
I know, I was there.
The editing is so bad that the only time the angle changes, it shows the back of the head of the person who's speaking.
Not at this particular moment.
I was just about to rage quit here when some shit finally goes down.
Oh my god, is that a shark?
Ah, damn it.
Welcome to my vagina. In here, I make the rules.
What the fuck, Tubi?
Severe or prolonged genital irritation or other urinary tract symptoms occur.
Chester runs for his life, totally ditching and making no effort to protect the girl he supposedly cares about.
Oh, thank God, it's going after him first.
The shark makes bear sounds in this embarrassing chase scene, and they both become shark burgers. Back at the party house, the stoner chick smokes some weed because that's what one-dimensional stoner characters do. You know, the two middle-aged men who wrote this script have never done drugs before because they just have her act like a total idiot.
Yeah, that's right. I'm alone. Wanna hit?
Then the shark finally puts this poor actress out of her misery. There's some more pretty clouds. Then the girls wake up all hungover, even though the movie didn't even show them drinking. Jill's upset because the Ouija board has gone missing, and they talk about it for like a minute and a half. They realize they have no food, then the movie tries really hard to force a meme.
So no brekkie?
There's coffee and milk and what we ate last night.
No brekkie.
Listen guys, nobody says brekkie. Nobody has ever said brekkie, and nobody ever will say brekkie. Can we please just get back to the shark killing? This chick says there's a store some miles back.
There's a store some miles back.
Then sets out on foot to go get food. Where do they think they are? A cabin in the woods or something? They're in town. They're on a residential street. They all pulled up in cars. Why don't they just drive to Denny's or something? Actually, that'd be awesome, because then they could have the shark pop out of the salad bar or whatever and start terrorizing all the customers. But no, instead we cut to Jill's dumbass dad researching shark stuff at the small table he set up in the middle of his kitchen. Why not do this scene at the library? Then they could have put that opening montage to use, and maybe actually have it mean something. But it's way more exciting watching a guy Google stuff and proceed to read aloud every word on the screen.
As a spirit animal, a shark may take on many meanings.
Representing the most primal and ancient instincts. One choosing such an animal as their totem must also be prepared for the spirit's unpredictability and its desire to hunt.
Then he turns over some not tarot cards and of course sees the death card because it's tarot and you always have to show the death card. The brekkie chick is still walking to the store. Apparently you have to go through these woods to get there, and we're along for the entire fucking journey. She comes across the Ouija board, which is out here for absolutely no reason that the movie bothers to explain. Then they subvert my expectations for the first and probably only time.
Hell no.
Maybe she just didn't want to touch those mystery stains. At this point, I'm just praying for Ice-T to show up and sell me some vehicle collision coverage.
Listen to your boy Ice-T.
But no, it's time to introduce more new characters. Why not? The 40-minute mark is generally when you do that, right? The guy in the Goodwill bought sport coat with the sticker on the sleeve is apparently the local sheriff or something. Some lady walks up and says that her daughter is missing. Her daughter is this chick, although that's not made clear at all, and I only know that because I spent way too many hours editing this video. She says she's been missing for 3 whole hours and she's getting worried. You could barely hear their conversation over the noise from the freeway back there.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get you to do that paperwork and...
But he tells her to chill the fuck out until it's been 24 hours, then go down to the station like you should have in the first place and file a report. He's far too busy standing here with his clipboard to be bothered with actual police work. But he says he'll see what he can do, then hands her this completely blank card, which they cut to in a close-up as if it's important. And I have no idea what's going on anymore. He calls up his deadbeat brother-in-law, Jed, who's also a cop because he's wearing the exact same thrift store coat. He tells Jed he needs him to go investigate the missing girl, but Jed says he's not doing shit until his lunch break is over. The scene goes on for fucking ever as these two engage in pointless, barely audible dialogue in a desperate attempt to pad the runtime to be feature length. Doing the bare minimum is a bitch, I know. Jed steps out of the bar and into the most disgusting stairwell ever. Then this Skrillex-looking motherfucker proceeds to take his dick out right here and starts pissing in the corner. Maybe he's just trying to blast some of that black mold off the wall, I don't know. Predictably enough, Sharky shows up out of nowhere and has himself a little snack. Nice job, Jed. You served less purpose in the movie than even these two. So I guess the shark just shows up wherever? First in the woods, then at the pool, then in this creepy stairwell? Did that long, boring scene of Jill's dad reciting the Shark Wiki foreshadow any of this? No. There's literally no reason for anything that happens. If you're gonna kill this guy while going to the bathroom, why not have him sit on the toilet, then have Sharky come up out of the bowl? You know, something funny or interesting? But this works too, I guess. Meanwhile, the Brecky chick is still walking, and walking, and walking. The shark appears and chases her down, and even though the shot is horribly out of focus, the director decided it was good enough to leave in the final cut of the movie. Jill takes an urgent phone call from her wooden, monotone dad, who tells her she needs to find that board.
Find that board!
He also drops this bombshell.
You've denied it for years, but your family has a history with the occult.
And says she should use her latent psychic powers to track it down. Whatever. This chick takes her top off, then sees a severed arm from the stoner chick floating in the pool. Didn't that happen like yesterday? Nobody's seen this shit till now? Then she gets taken out by Sharky.
Kid, no!
Hey, remember that car wash chick? She's just back in the movie now.
Hey, what did I miss?
Even though it's been like 2 whole days and she's been gone the entire time. I guess none of her friends cared or even realized. Cut back to that first cop guy. He's trying to reach his white trash brother-in-law, but he's not answering his phone because he's dead.
Voicemail?
He walks really slowly down a path in a needlessly long shot that goes annoyingly and inexcusably out of focus. Jill and the car wash chick, whose name is Tiff, I guess, flee into the woods. Jill explains they're being hunted by the ghost shark, and then they narrowly escape disaster.
Get down!
It's new, gotta go turtle!
Seriously, Tubi?
Gotta go!
The fuck is this? The shark gives him chase, but because she's a dumb chick in a horror movie, Tiff of course trips and becomes a tasty, tasty shark burger. Jill reaches her car, which is just out here in the woods now for some reason, and there's a gearing up for battle montage. Them boots are sexy, girl, but maybe put a little hustle on it. Also, what the hell, movie? You totally waste that trunk shot earlier. Instead of using it right here when it would have made sense. It might have even looked a little badass.
We should have fucking shotguns.
This movie never met an opportunity it wasn't willing to waste. A mysterious cloaked figure jump scares her like an asshole, and he has some critically important information to relay.
I have dabbled with powers that I shouldn't have. I tapped into elemental forces and tried to control them. but you cannot control the
What?
brutality of the green.
I guess I'll turn the fucking captions on then. He claims to be the owner of the Ouija board, and that he had trapped the spirit of the shark in the board until she and her friends let it out and screwed everything up. Well, maybe don't leave your precious board laying around where anyone can find it then. He says they need to put the shark spirit back into the board or it will keep on killing, except he doesn't know how. Well, you trapped the shark spirit in the board before, right? So how the hell do you not know how? There's no time to ponder this plot hole though, because, oh shit, we've got company. And no, that's not your imagination. That's the exact same shot from 3 minutes ago being reused here. The guy in the bathrobe runs away like a sissy, once again leaving his magical, all-important spirit channeling artifact behind in the process. We cut to Jill's dad seeking spiritual counsel from a cliche-looking fortune teller lady. I think he wants to channel the shark to distract it from attacking Jill. The shark attacks Jill anyway, and the shotgun doesn't even faze it. But then she holds up the Ouija board and scares it away. She finds his convenient cabin and goes inside, neglecting to close the screen door. How rude. Jill's dad loses his patience and grabs the crystal ball, taunting Sharky as if he's some kind of badass all of a sudden.
Come on, you son of a...
The shark kills him anyway, and then the boomer screenwriters have this 18-year-old actress drop another embarrassingly outdated song reference.
Mama told me there'd be days like this.
Hey, remember this guy? He's still in the movie, I guess, and he's still just walking around. And even though there's ice back there and he's shivering, they still didn't think the audience would understand. So they just have him say he's cold.
It's unnaturally cold.
Also, this ice and cold business is never explained and never occurs again in the movie. Not that it really matters, but whatever. He walks on and the camera remains out of focus the entire fucking time. The shark attacks him and he fires at it with a gun that he somehow has now. Was this in his pocket? Because he wasn't shown wearing a gun belt at any time, nor a radio, nor cuffs, nor literally any other things cops have, other than that blue blazer they found at a garage sale. You can get a cop uniform for less than $50, movie. Anyway, this officer, who is sworn to protect and serve, cowardly runs away, and he finds the cabin, narrowly escaping the wrath of Sharky. There's still no indication of whose house this even is, and they decide to use the Ouija board. Jill sets down a lightweight plastic shotgun prop on the table, while the cop guy casually holds his weapon pointed directly at Jill, as well-trained police officers normally do. They use the pistol as a planchette because that just seems like an excellent idea, and even though the black marker they used to cover up the orange tip on the plastic toy gun has started to rub off, this still somehow works to contact Jill's dad, who's in heaven now, I guess.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I'm pretty sure this is just some extra footage from the Gonzo porno shoot they were filming on the side, but they pretend it's part of the shark movie anyway. Jill's dad then takes on the villain Mono Sharko. I should point out here that this guy is one of the co-writers of this movie. I'm sorry, but what kind of total hack writes a major role for himself despite having less acting talent than a plank of wood? And planning himself into the final battle scene where he becomes a superpowered space Jesus and sacrifices himself to save the day. To say nothing of the fact that he totally steals the thunder from the real hero of this movie, a determined character who's lost all of her friends to violent deaths, has come face to face with the monster and is courageously positioned to take a final stand against evil. Probably the same kind of guy who drags family members along as unpaid crew members and thinks a first draft script is good enough without getting any legitimate feedback. This scene might have been hilarious and fun in a different context, but this is so bad it's just embarrassing. There's not even any musical accompaniment here.
Mystic Shield!
This is the climax of the movie, for fuck's sake. They put music in this scene, and this scene, and even this scene. But no, John Migliori's massive ego is all the cinematic presence needed to carry the movie now. Get the fuck out of here. Despite all that whatever the fuck just happened, the shark kills his ass anyway and returns to Earth and attacks these two. So great work there, Johnny. At least they gave our final girl a well-deserved moment of badass redemption.
This is for my dad, you aquatic douchebag.
The shark is defeated, and then there's an actually funny line.
I could use a drink.
I could use about 6. And some sushi.
Too soon.
Before these two leave whoever's house this is that they've broken into. The camera pans up, and even this simple basic tripod shot is somehow screwed up by jerky camera movement. And naturally, this is the tease that the shark is still alive in the final shot, setting up a sequel, right? Nope, they just cut away. The movie's not over yet because they have to shard out 10 more minutes of runtime to even qualify for the definition of being a movie. The hooded guy from earlier appears, and he has the Ouija board, even though we saw it obliterated in the previous scene. He calls the President of the United States, and while being forced to stare at this guy's disgusting cake hole, a major conspiracy is revealed.
Mission accomplished. Everything on the eastern coast has been completed.
I bet they thought this shit was witty and relevant when they filmed this back in 2017.
Prepare Phase 2 of Operation Ouija Shark. It's gonna be huge.
This shit would have been instantly dated, even if this movie hadn't sat shelved undistributed for 3 whole years. The credits finally roll, and the band from Jill's shirt plays us out with the title theme song.
Now everybody's dead, it's the Ouija Shark.
Which ain't bad, but it ain't really worth the wait either.
Fast forward, pool party with some friends.
And don't think I can't tell you're rolling these credits extra slow, using that extra large font with abnormally large gaps between every line. They've got to squeeze out those last drops somehow, but if you shake it more than a few times, you're just playing with it. So that's Ouija Shark, an embarrassing failure on every perceivable level. I wish I could say that the saga ends here, but a sequel has been confirmed and is supposedly already in production. Ouija Shark 2 is reportedly written by, directed by, and starring the Mystic Shield himself, Johnny Miggs. If I were capable of feeling any emotion at all anymore, I'd probably be pretty disturbed by this. But I've already moved on, planning my next Tubi review, Don't Fuck in the Woods, where despite the clear warnings, they fuck in the woods anyway, and hilarity ensues. And so far there's not a single shark in the movie, so it looks promising. Anyway, I'm gonna go sleep it off now and pretend this never happened. Thanks for watching.